Hello YouTube friends, I'm Jeanette and you're visiting the Neal's Homestead. And today I'm by the wood stove. It's chilly outside and it feels good to be inside where it's nice and toasty warm. Over the past couple of years I've learned a trick that has helped me with my wood stove. It helps me insulate my wood stove, and I also believe that it's going to help my stove to last longer. Thanks for coming. The first thing I need to do is let all that wood in my stove burn down. I'm not going to make the stove cool down all the way, but I don't want any pieces of wood in there.
Used to live in the country on a high lonesome hill, crow by day and by night the whippoorwill. I used to live in the country on a high lonesome hill, crow by day and by night the whippoorwill. But I'm satisfied, tickled too, just to be with you.
Well, I've let the stove burn for a while longer and it's pretty well burned out. It still has some sizable chunks of fire in there. Well, last year I figured out something in using my stove. We've had this stove for, well, I'm not sure if this is the third year or the fourth year, but the newer stoves are very different than the older stoves because the newer stoves feed the air in from the top, where the older stoves have to breathe from the bottom underneath. So they burn very differently from each other. Well, in this stove, I've learned that if I leave some ashes in the bottom, instead of cleaning them all out, that I can maintain a lot of heat because those ashes act as an insulator. They retain the heat better. And also in the middle of the winter, when you're just burning fire constantly to keep the house warm, you can develop a huge pile of coals in there that is going to last a long time. And that huge pile of coals acts as an insulator for your stove. It holds the heat. And another thing that I've figured out, I figured this out because of the new wood cook stove that we got, that having that insulation at the bottom helps your stove last longer. It keeps it from getting so hot on the bottom of the stove and burning up the metal. I mean, making the metal wear out by continually being too hot. So whenever I'm cleaning my stove, I push the coals around and scoop out ashes. And then I have my coals ready to make a new fire. I don't know where we came up with this old coal bucket, but it works great as a ash collecting bucket. Since we don't have a drawer we can just pull out on this stove. It does have a drawer out there, but I found it to be basically worthless. I set my bucket of ashes outside in a place where they can't come in contact with anything flammable, and I let them cool down, and then I scatter them out wherever I'm going to scatter them out at that point. When we got our wood cook stove and I started reading the directions explained all that to me, to leave a layer of ashes in here in the bottom of the stove, and that would act as an insulator. So if you'll do that with your stove, you'll get two good things out of it. One, you will insulate your stove and protect the metal and the bricks and everything inside there so it won't get too hot and warp. And two, it'll give you extra heat storage in your stove. I'm so happy that I found out about this, and I just want to share it with you so you can think about using it in your own wood stove heating system too. Thanks for joining me. Bye. The ashes will act as insulation and heat storage, kind of like a mass heater.